Hi everyone, and welcome to another review from Class 47 Peter. And in today's review we're going to be having a look at another 009 loco. So this will be the second review I've done of a model in 009 scale. And the model we're looking at today it's technically a model that I've already looked at and reviewed. It's the Baldwin Class 1012D, but this one is different. Because the one I reviewed last time was number 778, which is the weathered one. This one is called Peggy in the Ashover Light Railway Line Crimson Lake livery. And this is a model that I've been after for a while. Now this model has just arrived in the post from the rails of Sheffield and still wrapped in this tissue paper as well. And because when I went on holiday recently, I did plan to try and get one of these models in this livery from the Festiniog Railway gift shop, but by the time I went on holiday and got to the Festiniog Railway, they'd all been sold out, so I had to wait till I came back off the holiday to get one. And I bought one from Rails of Sheffield because at the time, originally I would have bought it from Hatton's, but at the time Hatton's had sold out on this particular one, so I bought it from Rails of Sheffield. Could have bought it from other places, but I bought it from Rails of Sheffield, mainly because the postage was free. But anyway, I'm not going to spend too much longer chatting about this. Let's get this model open. So first of all, we're going to rip off the tissue paper and we'll put that in the bin. And there's the model in the box. Just look at that. That looks fantastic. And I haven't even opened it up yet. So we'll slide out the box. So we'll put the empty box to one side. Oh, just slide off the outer sleeve of the box there, and I have noticed something. This, which looks like it. I don't know what that is actually. Is that a? I hope that's not something off the model. But we'll have to see. So I'll put that to one side. So I've got a bit of packaging there, I'll just throw away. So here we have the, well, this will be the guarantee and the warranty service request. And this is the owner's information or instruction manual. But I'm not going to open this up and show you what's in it because I've already done this before. It's going to be the same stuff that's in here as I showed you in the review I did on the other Baldwin. Lubrication, taking the body off, that sort of thing. So I'll put that to one side. And I'll put that in my folder later on. And then here we have, I'm not going to do close-ups of this because all we get in this little bag are the etched nameplates and builder's plates, as you can see, which I will put on the model later. And they look very nice. So I'll put those to one side. And then we just lift off the top of the box and we lift the model out of the packaging. And we can now have a look at the model in closer detail. Okay, so before I go on to the detail, I'm going to talk about the weight of the model. It's quite heavy for a small loco, which is good, because this model needs the weight, because the weight is there to provide the traction, and if there's no traction this model can't pull trains. And it is important especially for this to have weighting because it's only a small loco, so it needs all the weight it can get. So now we move on to the detail. So here we have the buffer beam, which we have some nice rivet detail and this lovely thin yellow lining around the outside there. I mean, that looks fantastic. We also have the coupling as well, as you can see, and like I showed you in the last review I did on the Baldwin, that little hook there at the top, you just basically slot the rolling stock couplings onto, like the ones that have the brackets. You just simply slot it on top of that little hook and it works quite well. Only thing is though, when it comes to double heading, it does slightly compromise that. It's alright if it's with a locomotive that does have the bracket on the coupling, but if it's another loco that doesn't have that, then you can't really double head it with another loco. But that's not going to be too much of a problem, because I'm not going to really be doing that much double heading with this loco anyway. On the running board we have a separately fitted brake pipe or vacuum pipe, whatever you choose to call it, there on the model. Then we have these nice separately fitted metal bits of detail here on the model, which I believe these are called neck holders, and they do look quite nice. On the smokebox door we have a lot of rivet detail, as well as some rivet detail on the smokebox door hinges there, and that looks really nice. And there's even some rivets on the front of the side tanks there, or in this case they're actually called pannier tanks. We've also got the steps as well here on the model. On the top of the smoke box we have a lamp iron as well, and on top of the water tanks we have some separately fitted small metal handrails, as you can see just here and here. We also have the stovepipe chimney, which looks very nice, and there's some nice rivet detail on the bottom as well. I suppose you could fit a smoke generator unit inside if you wanted to, but I'm not going to really bother. But you can do it if you want. On top of the water tanks we have the water filler caps. They don't open, but I don't expect them to, and if they did they'd probably make the model more expensive. But they're there and they look nice. Now I might be wrong with this information, but I believe this dome here is the sand dome. Or sandbox I should say rather. So basically this dome has sand in it. So basically it's on top of the boiler to help keep the sand dry. I know that the USA dock tanks have that. They have 3 domes. One is a steam dome and the other 2 are sandboxes. So I'm pretty sure that this dome here is a sand dome, is a sandbox basically. And then this dome obviously being the steam dome. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that that's the case. We've also got the whistle and safety valves on this dome as well. Now the whistle appears to be what looks like made out of turned brass, and the safety valves appear to be painted, but they do look quite nice. We've also got some nice pipe work on the model there, outside that dome there and just in front of the cab. We've also got some very nice piping there as well, coming out from top of the water tanks there and down underneath the cab. That looks very nice. On the front of the cab we have some rivet detail and glazing in the cab windows too. On the water tanks we have some nice rivet detail. We have some rivets in the middle of the tanks there, as you can see, where I'm pointing the cocktail stick to. And on the ends of the water tanks, just here, as you can see, we have some rivets on. And that's a very nice bit of detail to have, because the rivets, they make the model look more realistic and more detailed. The cylinders look very nice. We have some nice rivet detail on them and some lovely lining as well. We've also got all the outside link motion as well on the model, the valve gear and the link motion and the side rods. And I can't wait to see all that moving like you do on the real thing. We also have some visible daylight there just in between the chassis and the water tanks, which looks very nice. And we have this nice little bit of detail, which is steam piping, I believe. And it's painted and it looks very nice. On the sides of the cab we have the ALR logo on the side, which stands for Ashover Light Railway, and some nice rivet detail on the sides and some separately fitted handrails there too. We've also got the crisply printed builder's plate there on the bunker and some nice rivet details as well. And we've also got a fantastically painted cab interior. Just look at that, the gauges, the dials on the regulator, it's all painted and it looks very, very nice, that does. We also have some coal in the bunker as well. I doubt it's removable, but you could always scatter some real coal on top of that if you wanted to. But I'm going to leave it as it is, I'm not going to bother with this model. On the rear of the bunker we have some more rivet detail, as you can see. We also have another separately fitted vacuum / brake pipe, and that little bit of detail I found earlier in the box that was loose, I found out what it was from. It was actually from this at the back, which actually attaches onto the brake pipe and on this detail here. It had broke off, so I had to glue it back on. That's not something we should have to do though. You know, we shouldn't really be having to glue detail bits back on, so that's a little bit annoying, but I've taken care of it now, so that's fine. We have some rivet detail on the buffer beam, and again we have that coupling at the back, just like as there's one on the front, of course. And on the other side of the loco, the detail is the same. Not much detail difference there at all. Now we move on to the livery application, and the livery on this model is just stunning. There's the correct shade of maroon, or Crimson Lake, but that is a maroon livery basically. So like I say, correct shade of maroon, a very nice even coat of paint with no errors in it, and I just love all this crisp, fine yellow lining on the model. It really does make the livery stand out, and it really lifts the livery, I think. And it just looks stunning to look at. And of course we have the printed nameplates on the sides which say Peggy. So I will be fitting the etched ones later on, but for now I won't be doing that. And they look very nice indeed. So what I'm going to be doing now, before I be running the model on the layout, I'm going to compare Peggy with my other Baldwin. Now I know they are pretty much the same, but there are some differences with both models, so I still think it's worth comparing them. Well, the first and most notable difference are the liveries. They're both in different liveries. This one is a maroon livery, being the Ashover Light Railway Crimson Lake livery, and this one, number 778, is, well, it would be a black livery, but this model is weathered. But if the weathering was to be removed, then it would be black livery basically. And also another thing, this model is a weathered model and this one is pristine. Now Peggy is vacuum fitted. Now this was true in real life because the real loco was vacuum fitted because it did pull passenger trains in real life, whereas number 778 is not vacuum fitted, so therefore in real life it wouldn't pull passenger trains. Although this loco 778 is actually preserved on the Leighton Buzzard Railway. I hope I pronounced that correctly, and it does pull passenger trains, but I don't think it's vacuum fitted, or air fitted for that matter. In the pictures I've seen, I've never noticed either of that on, so maybe the coaches don't really need that, but I could be wrong. Also, number 778 has working directional lights, so it has lamps on each end which light up depending which direction you run the model, whereas Peggy is devoid of the working lights because it doesn't have the lamps on. Also, Peggy has a lamp iron on top of the smoke box there, as you can see. Excuse my giant finger there, I'm just pointing it to you so you can see it. And on 778 there's not a lamp iron there, but that's where one of the lamps is. Now on number 778 it has window guards, which are these detail bits here. I believe that's what they're called, could be wrong, but I believe they are called window guards, or window surrounds even. Peggy doesn't have those. Moving to the back of the locos, number 778 has the water tank filling hose there, as you can see, on the back of the bunker. Peggy doesn't have that, but then in real life Peggy didn't have the water filling hose on the back of the bunker. But apart from those detail differences, they are pretty much the same, just with different bits of detail on each one. And they both look a sight together. Moving on to the running performance now, and as you can see straight from the box, Peggy is a smooth runner. There's no motors burning out or jerky movement or grinding noises. She runs exactly how she should, straight from the box. She will need some running in though. Now we come on to the loaded test run for Peggy. And in this video I've got Peggy pulling a passenger train, so she's hauling the passenger coaches, which suits her very well, especially because this loco did pull passengers in real life. She was originally going to pull a freight train, but I decided to get her pulling the passenger coaches, which she will be doing some freight work though. Now I know there's only 5 coaches behind the loco, but this still shows why the weight in these models is so important. And doesn't Peggy look a fine sight pulling these coaches? And it's running at a nice speed as well. I mean, I have had some people moaning at me almost every time I've been doing videos featuring a 009 loco running, where someone's been complaining about how fast the train is going. But you know folks, at the end of the day, this is my layout, it's my rules, I run what I like, and how I run it is up to me. So overall then, the Bachmann Baldwin Class 10, it's an amazing little gem, it really is. I mean, I can't fault it, it's absolutely perfect, nothing wrong with it. If you haven't got one of these and you have 009, then you have to get one of these, or at least a couple of them, or even all of them if you want to, because you will not be disappointed. I mean, they are absolutely stunning. And I think these are a worthy contender for Model of the Year. Right, that's all I've got time for today. Thank you for watching this video, I hope you've enjoyed it. Please do subscribe to the channel and check out my other videos. And I'll see you again soon for the next video. But until then, this has been Class 47 Peter signing off. Hope you've enjoyed this video and take care and look after yourselves and stay safe.